Trump administration asking the Supreme Court to allow his executive order to take effect that restricts mail-in voting ahead of the midterms. The emergency appeal filed yesterday comes after a lower court's decision to uphold a ruling that blocks Trump's order, which seeks to create a federal list of eligible voters and direct the Postal Service to deliver ballots only to the voters on that list. The Trump administration asked the court to move quickly, arguing the new policies are critical and must be in place by the middle of August. Now, earlier this year, Democratic-led states sued to block the executive order, arguing that the president lacks authority to impose election restrictions because elections are administered by the states and not the federal government. Meanwhile, President Trump continues to put pressure on Senate Majority Leader John Thune over his legislative priorities. On Truth Social yesterday, Trump told Thune to keep the Senate in session until it passes the Save America Act or terminates the filibuster, to allow Republicans to, quote, quickly pass everything they ever dreamed of. Thune responded while speaking with reporters yesterday, saying lawmakers have debated the election reform bill for weeks without a winning result, and if someone can show him a way to get a better outcome, he'd be all for it. Ashley, this seems two thoughts here. First of all, this is not President Trump helping Republicans' reelection campaigns, saddling them with potentially unpopular legislation, and also potentially keep them off the campaign trail when they need to be home trying to keep their jobs. But secondly, the theme here for these two stories, this is once again this administration seemingly trying to prevent people from voting.
Well, first of all, I think Claire would agree with me on this one. I feel like I've been around Washington too long because every August we get we're not going to recess unless we vote on X, Y, and Z, and then we always recess. But listen, no, it's not helping Republicans. The math is not there for Senator Thune. It's not going to be there, even if, there was a bunch of talk this morning about doing it again on some sort of reconciliation, that the House passed. But again, the parliamentarians most likely going to kick that out because it doesn't have to deal with the budget. So, and also, personally, I'm not an expert on the Supreme Court, but obviously, are they going to do an emergency docket? And I still think even with some of the conservatives that sided with the more left-leaning justices, they're going to agree that this is a states' rights issue. So I think that this is just the president trying to hold on to this topic, but I don't think it's not going to make a difference. And I think John Thune knows this.
Claire, you know all of these players, Thune, the leadership. What do you think he is going through right now? I mean, he's a pretty serious guy. He's not a Mike Johnson, and senators have a lot of respect for the institution. I'm just curious. They're cruising into a midterm with Trump's cratering approval. I wonder what you think is going on in the Republicans in the Senate's heads right now.
Well, it depends whether you're talking to the Republicans that know that Trump is a problem right now, or if you're talking to some of the newer Republicans that seem to be all in, like Marshall from Kansas and Blackburn and Tuberville and, all the people that are really, really MAGA. The other Republicans know and have been around long enough to know that if you do away with the filibuster, then you're going to be on the receiving end of a bare majority changing U.S. law. And because, the Senate will go back into Democratic hands, I believe in November, but if not November, it will happen at some point. So once the filibuster is gone, then Republicans will have legislation jammed down their throats. And that's why you have so many Republicans holding the line on the filibuster. And, here's the deal with Thune. Thune is taking the pulse of his caucus constantly. He is trying to take care of people that are on the ballot in November in purple places or blue places like Maine. But he is not doing things that his caucus does not support. There are outliers like Mike Lee, but the majority of their caucus, he is speaking for them. And that is why he has the job, and that's why he's going to keep the job. Mm-hmm.